everybody for you. Body just shake belly. Motive so fun tell belly. Deliver like I get belly. Them say I dey go sell. Them say I dey go sell. Destiny to fortuna. I go make you Joe Dada. Say you get the power. Sweetie passy, I'm a lucky too. Shinji Kagawa. Jesus Christi Lobawa. Got them falling yakata. You know I see sabi girl they do. Sabi, oh, sabi, oh, sabi,
I want to formally welcome all of us to this second edition of D'Bio Wellness Selfcare Summit. Self-care as a driver of optimal health and wellness. Thank you for coming. Thank you for giving us your presence. We appreciate you.
For me, this is something that is very big key, whichever sector or area you are. Self-care and health is not the exclusive preserve of those of us who are trained in the healthcare space. So part of the vision behind this is to empower as much people with the knowledge that they need, because you need to be involved in your own health. And there's so many things that you can do that would impact on that. We do not take it for granted. For all those of you that have taken out time to be here, we appreciate you for coming, for joining us, and we hope that this will be a session that will drive and further reinforce the impact of self-care in whatever sphere you find yourself. If you look at the panelists, we will share the electronic copy of a full program that will allow you to appreciate the diverse panels that we have. So for me, when we talk about self-care, and the International Self-Care Foundation has given us 7 pillars upon which you rest self-care. So when they're talking about knowledge and health literacy, understanding what we need to do. When they're talking about nutrition, we're talking about physical exercise, we're talking about rational use of products, talking about mental health. These are all some of the things that play into advancing wellness and self-care. And so we hope that with this second edition we'll be further able to reinforce this within our population and get more and more people to come on the train and ride along with us as we look to improve health outcomes within Nigeria.
Self-care as a driver of health and wellness is a very interesting thing, the way I see it. And the word self-care starts with self-love. If you love yourself, you want to achieve wellness and sustain the wellness. I'm not going to try to dabble into what the keynote address speaker will be talking about, but I think it's going to take us through a lot of things. You know, how self-care can begin with self-love. I want to assume we're going to talk about that. I think it will also show us or expose us to some things that we can do to manage. Dr. Monica used the word empowered. To empower us, information about food, about environment, about things that can help us achieve mental health and sustain it, emotional health and sustain it. I think it's a whole bunch. So I am looking to see how we can benefit from what the keynote address is going to be talking about, on how to prioritize those things that will help us achieve and sustain, self-care. I'm also looking to see impacts of self-care on our physical health and our emotional health. The truth of the matter is that I can look healthy, but I'll be sick inside. It's easier for us to connect because we are in the healthcare space. But some of us who are not exposed to health information all the time will benefit a lot more. I think in our own way, we should support the bio in our own different areas of practice by enlightening people and also encouraging people to come for a forum like this. I'm going to make it very short. My chairman says I shouldn't talk too much because I'm not the keynote address speaker. I'm going to obey him. But I believe that by the time we leave here today, we'll be better empowered. I will be ambassadors, of the concept of self-care. and how it can drive health and wellness.
The question is, why talk about self-care and why talk about it in a time like this?
From now, there are quite a lot of things that were quite optional. The world had not grown in population like this. The patient to medical practitioner ratio was not this crazy, and it's going to get worse. The sophistication of the illnesses we deal with on a day-to-day basis has exploded compared to what it used to be. And so when we talk about self-care, to a large extent, the world is not just talking about self-care because it's a healthcare need. We're in a new world where self-service is driving all conversations. I used to say to a lot of my colleagues, I said, a lot of industries innovate a lot. Healthcare industry is not one of them that really enjoys to innovate that fast. But let's not feel victimized or feel isolated or feel Dr. Monica and the new narrative of the whole world wants to punish us by telling us to go to self-care. The easiest of it, and I will, so that you know how the world is going, is I do remember even when I joined the world of nursing. You know, those days, you just wanted to work, am I right? And you get pension. Those are the good old days. Am I wrong? You know, you just go in and you know if I work for 35 years and don't do anything wrong, somebody will take care of me for the rest of my life. Was that the deal? And that was why people went to civil service. But you know, when we grew up, entrepreneur, but we can't find them. Apart from those in the trade who didn't go to school. So anybody that went to school worked for the government, worked in a structured organization. In fact, they put pressure on private sector. That's what created organized private sector so they could mirror government. Am I right? Yeah. But what was the major motivation? I knew that once I was done and I served the country, served the company, served an organization, they will take care of me for life. Something happened along the line. And what happened along the line? This self-care that we're talking about came up. And it's a global phenomenon across industries. And I'm using that because I know once it's about money, it gets to us. It's going to be worse in the future because today, somebody is now telling you, again, you find out that in those days, somebody took care and then guess what? They started changing the rules. No. You contribute. I'm sure many people who are even about to retire have no clue what they've done. What they've done now is that they've told you to contribute and you're now the expert. They've come and said, guess what? You decide whether you want to put part of your money in stocks. So people who have no understanding of financial understanding, they've told you to start making decisions. You know, a lot of people get there and find that there's no money anymore. They'll decide if you can opt for part of your portfolio to be used for infrastructure. So they will borrow it to do road for coastal road, you know. So again, you find out that all of us, suddenly, all the things that you assumed somebody was going to take care of, they told you to take care of yourself. In Nigeria and Africa, because of, you know, information is not very vast, you don't know how much. But if you go to developed worlds, you determine how your portfolio performs. A lot of people today cannot retire, got friends, and yes, you know, we've worked together and she just got back. I'm sure if you talk to many of our colleagues in different parts of the world, a lot of people can't retire at 60 anymore. No. They are working to 70. Have you asked yourself why? They've handed over to them as self-care. You now need to decide what my after-work life will be. When you look at your portfolio, not your fault, though. You don't know about crypto. You are not the one doing the investment. You wake up one day and say that the amount in your portfolio is not enough, so you keep working. Why I'm saying that is that globally, governments of the world have handed over your lives back to you. You might not know it. But because, in my opinion, governments of the world are running away from responsibility more and more. And we're having more irresponsible people become governments of the world. They are running from responsibility and giving it back to you. But many are not aware. I use the analogy of the financial sector, so it's not hit the Nigerian space well because we've not had mass people come for retirement. But it's going to happen soon. All the people that have done this pension reform, contribution that happened in Obasanjo, they will still start retiring very well. And that's when they'll find out that actually the stock market has crashed and they say, no, but you signed one fine print and you clicked yes. All of us are clicking yes, you don't even know. And in that yes, you said 40% should be used to buy shares, but shares have gone down. So you now say you're only entitled to 20,000 naira for your portfolio till you die. That's when we understand even here also we can't retire. So the governments and organizations of the world have handed over your life and care and management of our lives back to us. So why is self-care? Why is self-care important? Coming from there, not so many people will look out for us. I mean, I happen to be one of the people that loved health insurance. I think I've been in health insurance now for like going to about 12 to 14 years, where we promoted the first pharmacist-led health insurance. And a lot of people have adopted that now, pharmacy benefit scheme and all that, which was our initiative we created. But let me tell you what I've seen studying that even globally. I'll come to my presentation, but you know, I'm a very boring lecturer. So this slide is so that you come here another day, but normally I just like to just take it. Even when you go outside the world, out in the world where they talk about this health insurance that they are forcing all of us to.
I have not been a regular attendee of the FIP. But this year soon I attended FIP. And what was most important to me was to attend the session on self-care. And I was thoroughly educated, far beyond my imagination. So much that I wrote an article while I was within the FIP itself, and I placed it on my LinkedIn on the value of self-care. I wasn't looking at self-care from the perspective of Nigeria alone, but from the African perspective. And I think this summit is just so appropriate. On behalf of the Nigerian Academy of Pharmacy, I'm delighted to extend warm goodwill and congratulations to all gathered for this timely and visionary second summit themed self-care as a driver of optimal health and wellness. The theme itself resonates deeply with our academics' mission. And our mission of advancing pharmaceutical excellence, public health and societal wellness. Self-care, as mentioned by the chairman earlier, is not merely a personal choice, but a public health imperative. When you recognize the fact that the Europeans have already told us that the quality of our education is poor, and we cannot find ourselves within the top 100 universities in the world. But very, very contradictory. All our healthcare practitioners, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, they are there. They are in the West, and they are not given any special further training for them to be able to now take care of their own patient. It just tells you that the rating of our university cannot be correct.
I thank the Lord for this wonderful day and the opportunity that my sister has given me. I am grateful to be here because before she started this program, she mentioned it to me. Unfortunately, I was not in the country last year. But I thank God that I'm in the country today and I'm able to represent my national chairman. But I'll first give my own goodwill message to my sister, Dr. Monica, that I do really appreciate you and I'm proud of you. There's nothing you lay your hands to do that you don't prosper. It is the Lord's doing. And you will continue to be marvelous in our eyes. God bless you for this program that is very much in time, in tune with the society's need. Because if we don't take care, like my professor has said, if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't really afford the hospital care. And even when you can afford it, are the right people there? The people you find in the hospitals these days are the ones that have not had anywhere to jackpot to. But the real brain has jackpot. So we really need to do all we can for ourselves and our families. And God will help us in Jesus' name. Yes, I always say they should mention pastor, the fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. But I believe pastoring is a call from God and is the greatest hyphen. So I will now give the goodwill message from my national chairman, Farm Scholastica Line, who is not in Lagos but has asked me to represent the summit with the theme self-care as a driver of optimal health
and wellness. It's most timely because self-care has been noted as a vital component for maintaining optimal health and wellness. Self-care is very important for optimal wellness.
The theme of this summit, self-care as a driver for optimal health and wellness, could not be more timely or relevant in today's world. Where stress, unhealthy habits, and preventable illnesses are on the rise. You all agree with me. People care less about what they eat these days, how they live their lives, and that is more reason why this summit is timely. Self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is the foundation upon which we build a healthier society, stronger communities, and more productive lives. On behalf of the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Olusegun Ogoye, I commend the organizers for bringing together such distinguished minds to share knowledge and strategies on this critical subject. By embracing self-care through healthy nutrition, regular physical activity, mental well-being, and preventive health practices, we empower individuals to take responsibility for their own health and in turn reduce the burden on our health system. We all know how crowded our health system is today. So as we deliberate today, we will be reminded that self-care is not selfish. It is a gateway to resilience, balance, and longevity. I encourage all participants to take the lessons from this summit beyond these walls and apply them in our daily living.
It is indeed a privilege and honor to be a part of this distinguished gathering. I dare say distinguished because it's not every time that we get the opportunity of understanding the prerequisites of living well. The D'Bio Wellness, the convener, on behalf of my principal, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity. She is unfortunately cannot be here, but as I am here, I'm representing her, and the rest of us representing the Nigerian Air Force officers' wives nationwide. We may not be the ones that hold the gun. We may not be the ones that push the tank. We may not be the ones who wear the uniform, but we are the hands that rub the shoulder. The ears that listen to those gentlemen of the court. So self-care is something that is very peculiar and it's important for each of us to consider. It's quite challenging at this time with the state of security in the nation, knowing what is happening. Our dear daddies, mommies, sisters are out there struggling just to keep us here, to sit safe. So sometimes when they come back, if we do not understand self-care, we may not be able to help them with it. I say that the Nigerian Air Force is very particular with the personnel. We have a leadership of the Nigerian Air Force that is very particular with the medicals of the Air Force. It is a tradition though, but this particular dispensation, we have a leadership that is very particular. The Chief of Air Staff and his wife, who is an erudite architect and one who's an internationally acclaimed one, knows the importance of self-care. She made sure that we came here as a minute representation of the NAFOA nationwide, so we can go back and share the goodwill message, the good message of self-care. It is challenging. Believe me, PTSD is real for most of our personnel serving.
Madam Monica, first of all, congratulations for bringing out the second edition. And I am grateful that I am here participating in the second event also. I would say namaste to all participants.
Namaste.
And with this word namaste, I will like to invite your attention that probably all of you are now aware about Ayurveda and yoga. And I don't know by coincidence or by what, there is no talk of surgery in both of that system. Although we say that both Ayurveda and yoga is holistic healing, holistic lifestyle, holistic complete life it gives, then why there is no surgery mentioned in these things? Because if you do all these two things, you don't require it. There is no need of such type of medication, such type of intervention if we live our life as per the suggestion of yoga and Ayurveda. So yoga and Ayurveda are gifts from India. We say that it is 5,000 years old system. And yesterday we celebrated our 10th yoga day because Government of India wants to promote it all over the world as a gift that this is there, and if you embrace this, it is the best self-care possible everywhere. So this is what I have to say. Everybody is now aware because of our effort and because of awareness which has come to the individual. They all are aware about your word yoga. Ayurveda is not that popular yet, but it is coming to the floor, and I am glad to say that WHO has acknowledged it as an alternative therapy for medication.
Self-care. We already know what self-care is from our previous speaker, but I would just like to add that every day we engage in a form of self-care to decide what to eat, where to go, what time to sleep, exercise, hygiene. All of these are self-care activities that we engage in every day. And it's important to note as well that self-care being multidimensional entails every facet that contributes to well-being, be it physical, spiritual, mental, emotional, and even financial. So I'm going to talk about the HDIs. So what exactly are HDIs? The HDI is an acronym for the Human Development Index, and it was developed by the United Nations Development Program, and it's used to assess overall human development across nations. So it has 3 dimensions, which includes health, long and healthy life, knowledge, and standard of living, which are measured by, health is measured by life expectancy, standard of living is measured by gross national income per capita, and knowledge is measured by the mean years of schooling, which we could say literacy or education. A key component of HDI that is access to health services necessary to promote wellness. We also see that in education, when we educate individuals on how to take care of themselves better, they're able to contribute better to the overall growth GDP of the nation. Moving on please. So we now understand this important link, but for resource-limited settings such as Nigeria, there are limitations to this interplay, which we see as systemic, and then we have the socioeconomic limitation, poor income, or even treatment costs. Then we have cultural barriers, maybe lack of family support. This lack of awareness reduces quality of life and self-care, which on the overall hampers human development, which will further reduce human development indices for countries in resources.
Yes, both hands please, both hands please. And then we'll stretch it down to our legs. Okay. Step out. We'll be fine. Shortly, in another 2-3 minutes, we'll be done. Just a bit of stretch. Straight. And then we're up. We'll stretch our hands further back. And then we'll go round to the back. 1, 2, 3. Just 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then to the front. 1, 2, 3. And then let's hold somebody. Hold somebody. Stretch out your leg. And then I don't know if you can see me, just the ankle. So yes, you roll it to the left 3 times, and then the next Sorry, it's my first time of doing this. I wasn't expecting to be called out. I'm trying my best. Okay, so the next leg, the right leg, or if yours is the left, and then you do the same thing, replicate the same thing. Okay. Thank you very much. And then she has a little bit. The waist. Yeah. And you turn it round. Small circle, medium circle, and then a big circle. And then anti-clockwise. Small circle, medium circle, and a big circle. Now we put our knees together, and then bend a bit, and then you go left. 1, 2, 3. You do the same thing. 1, 2, and 3. Then also your neck, you have neck rotation. 3 times is just fine. And then you do it anti-clockwise. Take a deep breath in. This is the last stage. Just take a deep breath in. Hold it, count to 5. And then you breathe out through your mouth. Again, take it in. And then you breathe out through your mouth. And then for the last one.
We have a panel that is going to further expand on our keynote. So we are expanding on the keynote address which Dr. Victor Afolabi very eloquently delivered. And he had so many points. Because honestly, I had just heard that presentation for the first time, and there's so many things that really resonated, I think, with many of us in the room. And he always has a way of expressing. So we start from why self-care, why now, and bringing these things to life for many of us, the way he has been able to expatiate and elucidate that. And I would want our panelists to give us a little bit more around that. So he talked about the economic realities and why self-care should be the new narrative, where we have to take responsibility for our health and drive and define self-care. We have his 6 pillars, which he talked about: health literacy, being very proactive, and focusing a lot on mental health, which is really, really very, very key. And his thoughts and his presentation align with the 7 pillars of self-care, which the International Self-Care Foundation also propagates. So there is synergy and alignment in what he said. So with that, I would want not to speak too long, because we want this to be interactive, but would also give our audience opportunity to engage. I want to ask each of the panelists, from your own perspective, what resonated with you based on Dr. Afolabi's keynote? So I'll start with you, Avinash.
It was a wonderful kind of presentation. I think I should appreciate him. He used 2 things in his deliberation, that he was talking about mental health. Mental health is a very important thing. Now the studies these days, they say that brain and gut, they talk to each other. So there's a connection between brain and gut by gut-brain axis. And the moment our mental health is disturbed, our gut will be having issues. Once our gut will be having issues, our will be facing a situation of dysbiosis. Dysbiosis is imbalance between good bacteria as well as bad bacteria in our gut. Once that thing happens, aging, metabolic diseases, and all those things will start. So that is how, that is very important. So we have to keep our brain healthy, and for that, exercises, meditation, and all those things are.
For me, the aspect of the social connection and the mental health one also resonated very well with me. As a journalist, the kind of work we do, we are always under pressure. We have deadlines to meet. So it's not very important for us to know how to set priorities. Because if you're so stressed up, like he elaborated, it's going to have a negative impact in your physical, mental and overall well-being. So there is need for us to prioritize. Then also when you find out that before you have any health issues, I believe there has to be triggers, there has to be signs and symptoms. So it's also good for us to be aware of the signs that our bodies are showing us. Then where you can't take up all of them, there is need for you to seek support, and that is where that social connection comes in. You should have someone you talk to, whether it's your medical practitioner. Though for him, he said he no longer believes in people studying medicine and stuff, but there should be someone you talk to, your doctor. It could be a colleague, without going that far to look for a doctor. It could be a colleague, could be somebody in the church or your social circle. But there is need for you to recognize the signs and know when to seek support. So those resonated very well with me.
Picking on Victor's speech, my panelists have touched on a few places, but where I want to buttress from the speech is the issue of daily routine. You know, he pointed out the very important matter of daily routine. You know, then also the at-home maintenance. You know, self-care actually resonates from our personal activities, which also covers our activities at home. You know, from the kind of things we eat, from the daily exercises, you know, and other things that we do at home. Also, he touched on mental health, which my co-panelists have touched about, but there's one other part I enjoy in this presentation, which is the digital tools. You know, I like his futuristic approach to the whole health issues. You know, you don't just look at it from the what you call it, the conventional ways, you know, of dealing with health issues. I see that his gravitation away from everybody studying medicine and all that, and he looked at the futuristic issues. I would say that I have already embraced such. One of our speakers also talked about the use of wristwatches and all that. I am not a fan, you know, of the wristwatch, but my son, you know, in terms of health issues, gave me the need, you know, to check my daily activities with my so he had to force me to get this. I must confess that since I had this and I've been monitoring, it gives you a bit of, how I put it, awareness, you know, and you know, confidence, conscious. You're conscious, you know, of your activities of the day. And let me just add that inside this year, I moved to an apartment that's a 3-story building. Right, when I first moved in there, I wasn't sure of how I'm going to be climbing upstairs and all that. But I can tell you for free that, you know, I've lived there for barely a year. It's like a normal, I don't know how to put it, it's more like health awareness for me too. So climbing the 3-story building, you know, using my wristwatch as monitoring gadget, you know, has actually helped me a lot. You know, so part of activities, because aside that, some of us, we barely do exercise throughout the day. You know, so as the course goes, we're going to explain more on all these things.
Dr. Afolabi talked about the 5 E's playbook for scaling. Enable, equip, engage, evaluate, and embed. So those we can apply in whatever sector. And we have a very diverse panelists here. So I would like to start again with you, Avinash. From your perspective, which of these E's are something that from your experience you would be able to expand on how we can move this self-care playbook and scale? Thank you.
I think daily small steps of you know, self-care will lead to a perfect wellness thing in our body. And then as far as these 5 things, we should enable us with the time, like we should have some time for our own selves, I believe, so that we can schedule our exercises on a daily basis. then we should engage with our family members. Like, it's very difficult, if you ask me, like, to go all alone, get up early in the morning, go for a walk and all. So you should have a partner, kind of a thing, who will motivate, or sometimes you will motivate the other person for those exercises. And then evaluate, like, yes, we have gadgets these days, different gadgets available in the market. We can evaluate our daily performance and like improvement. And yes, once we do it on a daily basis, it will be our lifestyle, and like this, our wellness goals will be achieved very fast.
So Vivian, you are the National President of the Health Writers Association of Nigeria, and you are an influencer in your own right, and you also have a group of people that have that capacity and that following. So from your perspective, how could we look at this playbook and interpret it or actualize it within your own space?
There is need to internalize the playbook, then we will not have to localize it. From our different media outlets, there is need for us to promote and let people know the need for self-care and the need for them to have a daily routine, something that they can follow. So it's not just hearing about it and it ends there. There is need for people to continually hear it and make it a way of life. So that wherever you are, whether you're in the home or your place of work or where you're trading, you should have a routine. And in having that routine too, there's also need for you to incorporate some of your, whether your co-workers or those that you're interfacing with. You can plan out something, if it's stretching or if it's taking walks in between the normal work you're doing. You have to take a stop and do some form of exercise. By the time you start engaging people in all of this, I think it will become a way of life. Then also, there is also a part for the government to play in terms of our environment. Fine, you tell us to walk around, to exercise, and all of those. There is also need for the environment to enable that. If you're going for walks or strolls, is the environment conducive to enable that, to facilitate that? You now want to take a stroll and the walkways, you're seeing people selling, you're seeing riders, motorbikes, everybody riding on that same walk that you're supposed to be walking on. Are you going to be scared that one way or the other somebody is going to knock you down? So there's also need for that enforcement. You want someone to exercise, you want someone to imbibe the habit of self-care. There is a way for the authorities to also encourage and facilitate that.
To you, Don'T, you are an entertainment mogul, and entertainment in Nigeria has gone to another level, and we know that there are many young people who go by the playbook of what the entertainers say and do. So how do you put self-care within that space? Because you have the ability to influence change and behavior.
Primarily, I started out as an artist manager. I managed musicians. And let me say that 25 years ago, it didn't mean anything. People didn't know the importance of that. However, if you fast forward to present day, the importance of the artist manager in the life cycle of an artist is, I don't know how to call it, is overwhelming, So in terms of, my sector, coincidentally, right, is, how about it? We all know that there's a lot of vices in that my sector, and there are a lot of ill behaviors that resolve around that my sector. So 20 years ago when we started out, and some of us who are sane, I dare to use that word, some of us who are saying, I don't drink alcohol, way back, I don't smoke, so when you have creatives, there's this natural thing with us creatives. They believe that you have to take something to spark the system to give you inspiration and all that. You know, people way back you say, Bob Marley, you smoke Igbo and all that. So, but gradually, for some of us, we're able to hold our talents together. You know, like I used to tell people, if you look at the top 3 or top 4, 5 Nigerian artists, right? In the name, let me just mention them: Burna Boy, Wizkid, D'Bio. These, if you check them properly, you know, you see that they have structure around them. There's a serious structure around them. Or else, if you leave an artist to his own vices, you know, and his behavioral pattern, you know, they won't go nowhere, because this whole thing of smoking and drinking or indulging, you know, so for us, I mean, as it affects our wellness, and you know, we've started this thing long ago to try to tame these people, to let them know that things are ought to be done in the right way, in the right proportion at every given point in time. I'll take a case in point. Let's say a two-faced D'Bio, for example. You know, we all know his story, his vices, and all that. So, in terms of even in relationships, in who you get close to, who do you bond with, who are your friends, you know, so sometimes they say some of us are too high-handed. We want to choose their friends, we want to choose what they eat, because the truth of the matter is that our destinies are tied. If I allow you to ruin you, you will ruin me. So we have from day one always tried to guide these people. So, but in present day, I dare say, right, to wrap up this section, in present day, there's been the lack of control of the artists, the musicians. So the role of the artist managers has always been compromised. Hence, you see there are a lot of drugs and all these addictions, you know, in the industry. I dare say also that it is affecting the day-to-day lives of Nigerian musicians and all creatives.
Yeah, stuff to do, yeah. Good boy. It's in a me, take it easy. Catch some cruise to my cheese. You spoke one for days. Come on for the body, know the breathe. Put on your shoe, make it stand that this. All your sorrow, make it dance them free. If you know be kalala, yeah. If you know be kalala, go to the Fuji. One my joke, ijogo, yeah. Ijogo, yeah. What you want, my jojo, ijogo, yeah. My jojo, yeah. And if you know be kalala, go to the Fuji. Odupa, Olua, yeah. Joy.
We are going to do, I'm called to do health break. And health break involves you standing up and stretching a bit. Fun fact, I actually found out that if you're in the game of longevity, one of the things you have to really protect is your fitness. I also found out that many people will end up with spinal cord injury, cervical spondylosis, all kinds of things. But if you try as much as possible to not stay in your seat, right? You can actually cut that by like almost half by just being deliberately fit and off of your chair here and there. So that's a good one. Okay, so let's do it together. I think we did it before. Okay, all right. So we are going to, first of all, hug yourself. Say, I love you. Self-love, right? Say, I love you. Squeeze it now. You're stretching here. All right. Say, I love you. Let's start there. All right. Second, you're going to clap for yourself. So I found out in Chinese medicine, there are so many things going on, like every part of your body is represented on your palm and the palm. So whenever you clap, you're actually activating almost every part of it. So can you imagine that you can hug yourself and clap and you've actually increased wellness? Is that not self-love? All right, self-care, that's what we're here for. Okay, one last one. You're going to raise your hand up, all the way up. Up and then go as far back. If you can reach the floor, I'll give you $1,000. Okay, let's go. Okay, and then back to the front as far as you can go.
Joy is coming. Dubai, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Only early in the morning. Dubai, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Joy is coming. Dubai, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Only early in the morning. Open never. Do what you wanna do. I want to be shining all day. Yeah. Do me that, do me tender. I want to live for the world. I want to live for the world. Yeah. It's in a meeting, take it easy. Catch some cruise to my cheese. You spoke one for days. Come on for the body, know the breathe. Put on your shoe, make it stand that teeth. All your sorrow, make it dance them free. If you know be kalala, yeah. If you know be kalala, go get them Fuji. One man jogo, ijogo, yeah. What you want, my jojo? Ijogo, yeah. When you my jogo, yeah. And if you know be kalala, go get them Fuji. Odupa, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Joy is coming. Dubai, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Only early in the morning. Dubai, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Joy is coming. Dubai, Olua, yeah. Joy is coming. Only early in the morning.
On a Sunday morning, she won't do something, I won't go church. On a Monday morning, I won't do something, she won't go walk. I better, no move this way. I better, police, yeah, police. She don't take my heart, they go. Police, yeah, police. She don't take my heart, they go. Think you body me, my baby. If money no dey, I like you again, I like you again. Papa, yeah, nonsense. When you body me, my baby. If you body no dey, I like you again, I like you again. Papa, yeah, nonsense. Friday morning, she want attention, I want do yoga. On a Friday night, when I want attention, she want to roll out. I better, no move this way. I better, police, yeah, police. She don't thief my heart, they go. Police, yeah, police. She don't thief my heart, they go. Think you body me, my baby. If money no dey, I like you again, I like you again. Papa, yeah, nonsense. When you body me, my baby. If you body no dey, I like you again, I like you again. Papa, yeah, nonsense.
person wey no person, you know they give person. If you want no person, you no go first person, yo. I know they sick, you won't give me medicine. I get money, oh, you won't help me spend my money. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. I love you, oh, yeah. I'm a winner, I'm a winner. Just believe that I'm a winner. I said just believe. I'll never do it like you do it. Just believe I'ma do it, do it. Yeah. Let me do it like I do it, how I do it. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, my mama. Oh, my mama. If you know what make you happy, oh, something go do you. Something go do you. Water go shock you. Thunder go yam on you. Something go do you. Something go do you. Water go shock you. Something go do you.
Big Smoke, stop.
It's Blaze on the beat, baby.
Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself. Allow me to enjoy myself.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Chineke na-emego kwa nwa ogbenye nsege. Every day by day I just dey celebrate, oh. Everything I do we just dey penetrate, oh. I just want to say oh thank you Jehovah, oh. See I'm living large, I get angels so for my ghetto. Never forget where I come from, not from ghetto. Oh no 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 no. I just want to say oh thank you Jehovah, oh. Ure keneri wo go Father Father, Father Father, adekwamu loya no Father Father, Father Father, ema puti rogu wane bele belo. I call look if I follow one day you must go. See I come from East, the enter street, brother, you know. Hey Jimmy fair, I turn to beast, you already know. Him I know now, yellow moon don't get fair. Oh now yellow me don't get to ya. Him I not rap a balloon button guess a head. I saw him balloon button gakoya. I came with so and the conquer. I love for them just a wonder. So which can move on under. I fire them with the thunder. Mwana kuzi kwanu nuju. No, mano chill. I cover myself. Maka Chineke na-emego kwa nwa ogbenye